What's going on, everybody? This is Mike Bennett and Mike Baker coming at you with another episode of the Weekly Tech Wrap Up. Hope everybody's been staying clear of the coronavirus or COVID-19, whichever thing you want to call it. Hope everybody's been able to have a productive week. This is, I believe, what, the 13, 14? I can't remember which one it is. I think it's maybe the
I
14.
think we have 15 now.
15.
I need to
15.
start
Oh,
putting
wow.
the numbers on the spreadsheet.
That's probably it. 15. Yeah. So I mean, you know how we do. We dedicated to this, man. We even amongst all of the other craziness going on in the world, we give y'all this tech news. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah, man.
topics we want to discuss today. We're gonna jump straight into it. Apple and Google announces a coronavirus tracking system. How worried should we be? Who knows? Well, I know I got my
Yeah.
thoughts on that. They gonna hear that. It's wild. But um, next, we're gonna jump into work from home stuff, security risk, lurk, and virtual meetings. Somebody out there on the lurk and now is it trying to take the opportunity to cause terror at home. So you're gonna jump into that. And then lastly, it says VR workout app killed a man's quads. That's I've always thought that all those things, man. It's well, you know what? We're gonna jump into the VR stuff, man. So let's jump right in. First things first, Apple and Google announcing the coronavirus tracking system. Now, I'm gonna read just the first little bit from the article we breezed past, and we can jump straight into it. This is Apple and Google last week announced a joint contract tracing effort that would use Bluetooth technology to help alert people who have been in close proximity to someone who tested positive for COVID-19. Now, my opinion on this, honestly, this is a complete breach of. Now, I'm not. Of course, we know that COVID-19 coronavirus is not the same thing as AIDS, right? But
Yeah.
if you have, just the idea of being able to track and say, "Oh snap, this person has been infected with that coronavirus. Oh my goodness, or I've been in proximity to someone." I see where they're coming from as to why they would, produce something like that. Um, my humble but honest opinion is that, for one, I feel that the it's not as bad as it seems, and some people may not like to hear that, but hey, I don't care. This is what's going on. It's not as bad as it seems. And then two, even so, I think it's more of an effort that has to be placed on people who have been in proximity to someone who had coronavirus, that they have to be given the instructions, or they have to be monitored, rather than just it's fast blasting it to everyone out there, because that will cause, I think, even more of of issues within society. If everyone, I mean, we know that it's something that's relatively real, as far as how the magnitude of it. People would, there's different thoughts out there. There's some people would say it's not that bad. Some people say it's next to the next thing is going to end the world. So,
Yeah.
but either one of those, I still believe that the way that we should conduct ourselves is just to do what we're doing now, right? To have an extra layer of security at that point, or if we want to call it security, but have an extra layer of something where we're talking about, going down the street. I mean, if that's the case, I feel that how they promote this thing, everybody has been in contact with somebody that's probably been in contact with someone that's had COVID-19. I go to Walmart all the time. Yes, I still shop at Walmart. They actually have a great bakery section. They I go into Walmart getting stuff, man. I'm pretty sure someone in there has either had it or been close to someone that's exposed to it. So how would that even work? Would the proximity be based on a 5 meter, 10 meter radius? I don't know. Just when we get into the particulars of it, from a bird's eye view, it sounds like it's a great idea. When you get down into the intricacies of it, it just doesn't seem like it's a good thing, because I think it'll cause more panic. It'll cause more fights to break out. It's already been
Yeah.
broken out, man. So but that's just my thoughts on it, man. What you think about it, Mike?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this app coming out will surely spread the idea of fear of, like, government overreach, you know,
Mm.
tracking. You know, it's basically America's tracking system, and this is the this is the one that everybody has been scared about. Yeah, I mean, you know, talking about the government's tracking everybody with their phones and tracking your ID and identity and where you going, what you're doing, and all this stuff. And we all been saying, you know, there's no proof. It's conspiracy
Oh,
theory.
yeah.
This is the thing that's happening now, and it's everybody's ears, and we all know that this is potentially going down. Like this is like the proof. Like if anybody needed the proof and he wasn't sure about happening in the past, we can't guarantee whether it was or not on a high scale, whether it was happening in the past. We're saying that now it's officially happening with two top tier companies
Mm.
working with the government. I mean, you
Fired
got
up.
Google, you got Apple, and you got the US government officially announcing that we're going to be tracking you guys. And like, I mean, that's just it. That's your proof right there. All you conspiracy theorists, everybody that needed some reason to be like questionable, it's out there. It's officially out there. And I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things that everybody needed to know. Like we already had these phones in our hands in our pockets, so we already knew that it was the potentiality of it happening. It's just that there was no reason. There was no necessary like
Mhm.
moment where the government could say we need to crack down on a situation, so we need to track everybody. So if anything that was happening, it was sort of happening behind the scene, and
Someone
it
would say
was
a necessary evil, right?
yeah, yeah, and that's what this is falling under. Like this is unnecessary evil or unnecessary evil, for
Well,
real, for
depending
real.
on depending on what side you're on.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, basically. I mean, they put a lot of like potential regulations in there. There's people, you know, through the article, you can hear that people are actually trying to build committees to, you know, make sure there's policies in place that do things, you know, that are pro civilian. You know, making sure that it's not necessarily like that it's a voluntary thing for one. Like it's not like mandatory. You got to go through this app for it to even do. I mean, like you got to download the app for one. That's
Yeah, that's
yeah,
good. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I
That.
mean,
But my bad. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just saying, like it's not, even though they have the power to potential to just be like, you know, we're gonna make it mandatory, everybody, no matter what. If you got an Android, you got an iPhone, you getting tracked. Like
Right.
they still making it a requirement that you gotta at least install the app because it has to be a voluntary system. Um, they apply a whole bunch of other things. They're talking about the use limitations that it can only be used for this one purpose for public health, and that it can only be used for advertising. I mean, that it can't be used for advertising because that's what we all scared of. That
Right.
that stuff being used for advertising purposes. I mean,
But
Facebook and Google are already technically tracking your work, you know, the data that you use for advertisement purposes. Um,
and it's wild because as someone who does marketing, I know that. So the idea, the more information you have on your target audience, the better you're able to speak to, to craft a message that basically speaks to them to get you to join, to get them to join your tribe or your movement per se. Right. So I get it, but it's like it sometimes, like I said, as far as the ethics, it can become a little topsy turvy because I remember we had that discussion on people didn't even know that Facebook was tracking people through Zoom. Remember,
oh
they,
yeah,
they
right.
didn't even know. So it's like, how far do you take it where it comes to this whole advertising thing? And then, two, you never know. So when it comes to advertising, advertising is not always about just trying to get money per se, right? I know that,
Yeah,
or the
you're
end
trying to
game is
build
like for
data.
profit. Yeah, you're trying to, yeah, and because people like, for instance, we have presidential campaigns where people advertise. It's
Mhm.
not necessarily all for money, you know what I mean? But that's a component of it. But at the same time, people advertise to be to push their agenda. And the stuff they're talking about now with this whole track and stuff. For one, leave it up to me. I feel like it's something that's already been done. They're just trying to employ this so the people can accept their tracking, the government tracking them like like with a good reason. Like, okay, well, we try and make sure that I don't get the virus, so yeah, you can track my phone. Like, of course, then
Mhm.
there will be no it almost would seem like the government will be upholding to a moral standard then when they may actually be doing something. And we may say the government, it could be anybody for that matter, in case the government is watching. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's usually one of them things where you always want to require some type of you know, third party, fourth party, independent, like auditing organization that just looks into all of this. Like Google will do their piece, Apple will do their piece, the government will do their piece, and then there has to be some third party organization that's just built by the people. I mean, to look into all of this to make sure that it's all organized and doing exactly what you want it to do, that it's not necessarily tracking you and beyond the virus needs. Um, and making sure that, like I said, they keep mentioning things about how making sure that your data is destroyed afterwards, that once this thing is over, that none of this data is held on to for other purposes. They call it like no mission creep, meaning like after the mission is over, after we figured out the COVID-19 thing, y'all not going to use this data to continuously like find a way to manipulate somebody for advertising
how
purposes.
how often do you, man? I feel all of these things, all of these stipulations, I guess they're putting in for this app to be an actual thing. That's all fugazi to me. Like it's not. We all know historically when it comes to stuff like that. Let me see. It says data destruction down here. Both the technology and related policies and procedures should ensure data deletion when there's no longer need to hold it. Now that's bull. Like I know. Come on,
Mhm.
these we are no we are known. I'm saying we as in like the United States is known for keeping track of everything. Like nothing is forgotten, especially if it's on the if there's anything when there's any type of transition between data over the internet, it's never completely deleted somewhere. It's not. So it seems like all this stuff is more so smoke screens and everything like that for people to kind of again, to lessen the blow of, people feeling like, oh snap, the government is actually tracking. I've accepted that you got to move wisely,
Yeah.
and just know that this stuff is that. In fact, like I said, they already, in my opinion, this is already happening. They just kind of like, all right, well, it makes more sense for them to say, well, now that we have to worry about the human race dying from COVID-19, we got to track everybody, and
Mhm.
so with that fear, that fear that's instilled in people, like, oh snap, like of course, because everybody, self-preservation, the first law of life. So everybody's like, yeah, you can go ahead, track me. Look at
Yeah.
all the stuff I look at online, all the things I look at late night, and all the things I research, and all of the places I've gone to. Yeah, take it all. I want to be able to, exist. They don't know that they setting themselves up for
Yeah,
whatever
I
happen.
mean,
I
and
don't
that's
know.
the whole third party part. That's the part where that organization that potentially has to speak the truth has to do their due diligence to make sure that these things are being upheld. Like as long as they don't get rid of our Second Amendment, then we all right because we still had ability for the people to uprise and fight against whatever government, whatever Google says they're going to do. So, like, if these organizations, this third party organization actually audits and sees that this information originally came from the COVID-19 app, but now they're using it to sell like Lysol and disinfectants, and they actually able to prove this, then it's out there in the public and people will know about it. That's the whole point. It's all really about putting the facts out there.
Wow.
Like you can feel like you being like completely dominated and you don't have a choice, but you still have a choice, which is to riot. And nonetheless, they don't want us to riot. So they have the third party there to essentially be the riot moderators. Like in 2 to 3 years, when this COVID-19 thing is over, if that organization finds that this data was still being used for such and such reason, we still got the ability to riot. Yeah, I mean, we still got
Right.
the I mean, we still got the ability to go up in y'all doors and be like, I want my data, motherfucker.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like that's what they're there for.
Tell me
To
where it's at.
Yeah, I mean, tell us when to go, cause we already ready to go. We don't like this power struggle anyway. We just waiting for y'all to tell us when to go. We'll let this third party organization be the ones to tell us when to go. Cause we about to go, but we gonna wait. We're gonna wait. We know that y'all want to track us. All right, y'all saying it's for COVID. All right, prove it. All right. In 2 years, if my data's still up there, all right, we coming at your door.
Let me
And
find
it's
out.
like, and that's the whole point. Is it got to be somebody there to be the independent. Let me find out guy. Yeah, I mean, like you got Google that got their millions, their billions. You got Apple that got their billions, their trillions,
Right.
and you got the government, and hopefully you got a independent world organization that helps for your benefit. That's not getting paid out by these other $1 trillion companies. It's one of them things, man. That's happened with every conflict of struggle. It's always like a guy on the top and the people on the bottom. That's going to be the ever struggle. It's going to be happening forever, no matter what the situation is.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna work
Yeah.
with that. They like I said, it's voluntary for one. So you gotta get that. If you get that, if they track your data, if your data gets collected, and if that happens to be used for something like malicious that wasn't intended, then you got the right to ride.
Right. You're right. That's all is there. But let's jump into this next topic, man. Work from home stuff, security risks lurk in virtual meetings, man. I like first couple of sentences from the article. Certain sentences from the article. Social media analyst Ismail Fami was answering questions from participants during a Zoom webinar last Thursday when he noticed something was off. Certain participants were regularly disrupting the session by hurling racial slurs and even displaying lewd images using Zoom screen share feature. I said I wanted to concentrate, but it was it couldn't. But I couldn't because they were really disturbing. Um,
Yeah,
I think this is just
Zoom bombing.
right. They call it Zoom bombing. Uh, so this is the thing. Well, how I feel about this. Like now, if you come from the world I come from, I play video games online. I was kind of in that I came into the online video gaming at its bare like minimum, like its birth, right? When everything was new, we still was on dial up connections, and I remember one time I had was playing Tony Hawk 3, I think it was, and I ran my mom's bill all the way because you had to pay every time you dialed in
Yeah,
from where I was. So I ran up the bill all the way to like $230, something like that when I was back. That was a
to
lot
sit on the
before
Tony
that.
Hawk.
Yeah, I'm telling y'all, because back then you was able to make your own boards and all that stuff, man. So I was massively hyped, but I didn't got it. Long story short, I got in trouble for that. Of course, I was a young boy. But
Yeah,
what I was saying was that that coming into the like all the stuff with Call of Duty and your mother, you're gonna hear a lot of crazy stuff. I remember, you saying you winning the game so hard, people get mad. And I remember one time this dude that sent me a picture of I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was him, but he sent me something crazy. His body parts, and I'm like, bro, like you just going way too far with this, man. It's a video game. But what I'm getting at is this idea of people feeling like they can get away with doing crazy stuff behind the screen, behind the camera is nothing new when
yeah,
it comes to I guess screen sharing and sharing that same space online. So hearing something like this, you think about what's going on right now. The internet usage in itself is up like at least 4 or 5 times more. People having more home meetings and stuff like that. You never know. It's weirdos out there that you may be working with, and stuff like I don't think it getting to exactly what type of meetings they were having, but yeah, you whenever you're sharing a space with either somebody you kind of know or somebody you don't completely know, you kind of put yourself at risk of being Zoom bombed. Seeing some as Ishmael said, some disturbing images he couldn't really focus with. But yeah, I look at it like the way it comes off as if this is something new or this is something that's completely shocking. I'm not shocked by it because I've been Zoom bombed before Zoom
yeah.
was a thing,
Basically,
and of course, I guess from a they call it's labeled it falls under the label of cyber attacking, but to protect yourself from that is really just to one just know that it's a possibility, right? To keep it from being, keep the shock down. Just know, like, whenever you're doing that stuff, like, you never know. People can, it could be somebody that's trying to portray to be normal, but he may mistakenly, have some stuff, or they, show a picture where it's like, oh snap, I didn't mean to show that, and it's a picture of him, posing, doing something. All the whatever craziness you can come up with in your mind is there. So, I mean, to
Yeah,
protect yourself from
it's
that, it's
just
just to know.
I think it's just exposure of the internet anyway. Like
Yeah,
no matter what, like whatever social, any platform that's online that allows you to randomly connect with another person online, you got the potential to run into some crazy people on there that's doing some crazy stuff. Especially if they got video access. If they got access to a camera, take a picture or take a video, then yeah, they basically got the ability to like, show their ass off, literally. I mean, like, it's just the way it's been. Like, I don't know how long chat roulette been out. I remember that thing from like 2008 or some shit before
oh,
Obama, where
oh
you
yeah,
basically just jump into a web page and it's chat roulette. You literally video chat with some random person you ain't never met. And then you press the roulette button and you get another chance to meet a random person. And it's so many weird people out in the world, man. And it's sick. It's it's literally disgusting, but it is what it is. Like the main thing with that is just like being aware and knowing your software, like knowing what you're going to use before you use it and knowing how to use it. Like Zoom is one of the things where the rise of Zoom is just the rise of all these people hopping online that never was really online before. And
exactly.
and online in these type of ways, like doing video conferencing, and Zoom never was really tested and tried to be like, is it secure enough for this type of situation? Like when we do our video chat on Google Meet, but every
Right,
time you jump in, you got to be approved to get in it.
right.
I mean, like that's just the way it is. I ain't jumping to land no randoms on here. Everybody got a Google account. I mean, I'm not letting randoms in here. I mean,
Right.
that's just sort of the way it got to be. And like,
You got to filter that, man. We
yeah,
ain't no chat roulette over here. Like, we got to know who you are and what you about, and that's
yeah.
yeah.
Might randomly hop in and just do a dick pic in the middle of the podcast. Like, yo, what the fuck? Like,
And you would think, like, why would why would someone do that? And it's like people just because, man,
yeah.
like whatever.
It's,
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
know.
back in the day, what did they use back in the day? They before the internet, they had trench coats. They run around there. I mean, wow, flash you,
Oh my
flash you.
goodness,
I
man.
mean, like that's all they doing. It's just now they got a tool to do it a lot easier.
Right.
People just need to have their dick seen, man. That's what it is, man. That's what it is.
Right.
The
That's
world.
I don't know what the infatuation with Now I'm not one to know. No, right. I don't be I don't receive a lot of penis pics. Have never have one.
Yeah.
Never have said I don't. I'm cool on that. Whoever is seeing this, any lurkers out there, don't get no ideas. But yeah, man. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, because we did just put it in their head. If they listening, they definitely want to send some craziness out.
right. Well,
Jesus.
you'll be blocked and all other type of stuff, and any type of new accounts you'll make, we block that, man. Okay, we're not for all that craziness, but yeah. I mean, it's just a part of the culture, and like you said, it just exposed whenever we have something like the internet that's being used more and more, or just any type of medium that's created that allows fluent communication between one human and the other. It's a polarizing experience in the sense that people will completely portray something that they aren't, or they will completely be exposed and uh, show what they are. And I think that's what's happened with this is with this whole Zoom bomb. People going crazy on Zoom. It's just giving the weirdos more opportunities to just show either their fakery and fuckery, or dude that's really going around flashing folk. Maybe when the internet didn't exist, he probably would have been them trench coat dudes. So
I mean, it
you
was even
know,
people back when it was just a telephone, people calling people randomly like, yeah, I want to hit you. I mean, what was that all? I mean, what was that Eminem joint, the King Kenneth from Connecticut?
yeah, yeah.
Crank calling people. I mean, people just got in random ways.
Oh
So
yeah, them. What was the other one, man?
crank yankers.
Crank
I
Yankers,
mean,
and then there
it's
was who was? Yeah, go ahead, go ahead. I gotta remember.
the movie. You talking about the movie? It was the joint Jerky Boys.
Yeah, the Jerky Yeah, the Jerky Boys, man. That thing was, bro. Like, so you think about putting that in this framework, bro?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
crazy.
I mean,
And it's crazy, like it don't even have to be anything about nudity, right? It just seems like that's something that we just never really. I don't want to see. I don't want to ever see a pack of dirty balls from anyone.
right.
Like what I'm saying. That's not. But but yeah, like that stuff like they would that whole that pizza man pizza bombing prank man. It's one of the most like funniest things of all time. Right? That's now stuff like that. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I would want to be. I wouldn't mind like
And
being a
there we
third
go.
party and watching that happen. So it's all yeah. I'm setting us up over here, Mike. That's
I
crazy.
mean, and that's what they do it for. Because I mean, it's just the notoriety, especially nowadays. It's getting whatever video conference is getting re-recorded just so it get posted to social media. I mean, it goes viral. So people are definitely, especially when they found out that it could go viral. Yeah, and people just
Oh,
be like, "Yeah, let me try it. Let me try it. Let me try it. Let me get into one of these Zoom rooms.
right. The
Let's
Zoom
do some
boom room.
craziness." I mean, that's just people nature. That's the nature of the randomness of people. It's at any given time, like 7 billion people out here, so it's got a chance for anything to happen.
Right. You just gotta, have your firewalls up and everything else, man.
Lock it down.
Yeah, like
Lock it down.
that's it, man. That's it. But
The only people that this happened to are the people that keep their front doors unlocked, man.
I guess, man. But let's jump into the last one. A VR workout app killed. It says a VR app killed my Kartz. This dude that was playing this game called Supernatural. I forget who the developer is. I think they're within. But yeah. So pretty much he was playing this game, and I think it's pretty cool. I never got into all of the well, let me say, no. The only game I've gotten into where it was like VR or it required some type of movement was on the Wii, and I was playing, I think, Link. What was it? I was playing Zelda, and it was
So
like that was I just committed a cardinal sin there in the game.
called a link.
I'm not saying no. I know the difference. All right, guys, don't. I was playing with Link. Don't come for me. I was playing Zelda. I think it was like Wind Waker or something like one of these. The one where he turned into like a wolf. I can't remember which one it was, but that's like the only one. And even playing that, it wasn't even like completely VR. But that stuff, it's a workout, because you
Yeah.
don't really know how long. Like when I'm actually doing my workouts in the gym and stuff, and he asks you to do like holds, like saying a squat and like hold for like 60 seconds or something like that, because you're focusing on it. And then it gets a little bit harder, right? Like it seems like the time goes slower when you when you're working out, right? But when you're trying to get through a bad workout, I guess.
Yeah.
But when you playing, your video games stuff like that, you'll notice like probably 5 or 6 hours after you're done, like, well, man, my thumb
I'm
got
beat.
blisters on it. I got,
I know I used
sweating over
to.
there.
I had a game on the PlayStation 3 that I still got my PlayStation 3 for. Like I still hold it. I don't hook it up or nothing, but every once in a while I'll be like, yo, I'm gonna be in the mood to go back and play this one game. Yo, it was it went back when PlayStation had the Move controllers, when it first came out with the
Oh,
Move controllers. So the only thing that I wanted to play on that was a game called Fight with Danny Trejo in it. Like Danny Trejo, like the Mexican dude, he was your
okay.
like trainer, and you got the two move sticks in your hand. It's basically a boxing game. It's basically a fight game. I mean, and I was actually thinking about getting it's a no, it's a I was thinking about getting a VR, the PlayStation VR headset for they got a Creed boxing game.
Oh,
I mean,
snap.
where you put the headset on and play Creed. I mean, you got the move controllers in your hand, you punching and doing all the damn thing for real. And like I mean, that was a workout for me for real. Like I would literally, this is like back like 2008, 9 or whatever. I would literally put that joint on for like 2 hours and be going through workouts, and half of it wasn't even like going through fights. Half of it would be actually training. Like you would go
Oh,
in and like you had to do certain uppercuts versus hooks versus jabs. I mean, like and do left hand, right hand, like you had to do different power punches, just do punches for like 60 seconds, 90 seconds, 2 minutes and stuff like that, all this stuff. And then you go back to the main fight to go, rank yourself up to fight the different fighters. I mean, and
You come
they
out there and
actually
you're a
had
real
a
fighter.
yeah, like they had a multiplayer component to it, so like you could fight somebody else. It was kind of gamey though. Yeah, I mean,
Oh, okay.
it was ways to game the system where you could just do a petty punch and it would throw a hard punch real quick. You know, depending on how fast you flip your hand and all that.
Yeah.
And
So it'd
yeah,
be like either
man,
one of them. It'd be like, phew. But if you throw
yeah,
real hard, it'd be like,
yeah. Like you try to do a real punch and his arm go all up here, back in behind you and all that. Like
oh my
that's
god.
one of them things, man. Like with the way that it was, but like if you treated it for what you wanted it for, which was just to work out, um, yeah, you come out, your arms be done, yo. You be sweating, your arms be done. You gotta take a break because your sides is hurting,
Right.
like you because you gotta dodge and stuff. So it you track your head motion,
He's
you
like,
do this. I mean, you really had to do that
got
stuff, like,
weed.
and then Candy Trejo come up in the background, like, you ain't doing enough. You like, you suck. Yeah, I mean, he be talking you down if you lose a match. Like, do it again, punk. Like,
Oh,
like,
okay.
like you literally you felt like you was in there doing something for real. I mean, even though it was all just for, it was basically what I considered it shadow boxing. And
Yeah.
like that, and that's basically what that was. I mean, no punching bag for real. It's just swinging and doing, moving your arms around. With this whole VR world, you putting the headset on. I mean, it can only get like more of a bigger experience. More in depth. Like it brings you into it. It's more immersive. But
Mm. I like how
I
you
don't.
ended. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I don't have any of this stuff right now. Like I said, my PlayStation is put away, but um, to try that out in the next couple, especially with people doing right now, like this whole COVID-19, ain't nobody going anywhere.
Yeah.
You gotta get your workout in from somehow.
Yeah, man. I didn't put on like 10. Nah, not 10 pounds. That's way too much. I probably put on like maybe like solid 4, and then some water weight. I'm trying to be easy on myself here, but I mean, I like how I do. And then you say honestly, I'm looking forward to strapping on. But I think it's the Quest or whatever, Oculus Quest or something like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
for another round of the Supernatural, because Supernatural is it's a workout game, and
Hmm.
it was one of those things where it has a lot of like great stunning visuals and the sound like and all this stuff like it's a very immersive experience where people can really dive in, and I think that's what he was saying why in this in this article how it's really helped out is because it wasn't one of those like smaller, you have some things for where like the kids they play bowling and stuff like that. He's like, nah, this one is for, it got great visuals, you got to weave and do all these
Yeah,
stretches and stuff like that. And it was to the point where he actually felt, he was getting like a personal trainer workout in there. So
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's something. What that's something I ever would get into? Probably not. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not. I just feel like I'm too much of a pardon my masculinity, but I feel like I'm just too much of a man to be like I just hit them weights, man. I'm not gonna be
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
that. But nah, I mean, it sounds like it's a pretty good experience. I would give it based off of what he explained in the article, a solid B or B plus. But but yeah, that's where we are with this virtual reality stuff. I think a lot of just you can like you said, Mike, you probably gonna see a lot more of this coming within the near future, if not already here. That just the idea of virtual reality, anything is gonna start to pick up because who knows how long this thing for COVID is gonna last, but I know that what tends to happen in times of crisis like this is that there are a lot of things that come and go, but there are some things that come and they stay. And I think that with people becoming a lot more adept in, internet users, talking about more, I guess my baby boomers and the generation before us, uh, they become a lot more advanced in understanding how the internet works and how to navigate certain things. Just the culture, right? Because I think the internet in
Yeah, I mean,
itself
well,
has come with
technology
a culture.
itself is trying to become easier for people. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that whole usability thing back in the 80s and 90s was really not, it wasn't for people. But
yeah,
like, with the advance of the smartphone and smaller technology, better developers, more developers, better user interfaces and like natural UI, which is, all this talk, talking to an assistant and, the movement controllers and all that stuff. Like it's just becoming more natural. It's built technologies are being built around people now. So it's being built so you don't have to know technology to use it.
Hmm. Right. But yeah, man. That's I mean, this was a fun we jumped into today, man. These articles is crazy, bro. But I mean, that's all we got for you all today, man. Again, this is Mike Bennett and Mike Baker. This is something that we love to do. We love to talk this tech stuff, man, because this is what we do. Want you all to like, comment, subscribe. Go to all of the. You can look us up on all the primary like good podcasting channels, everything from your Apples to your Google Plays, SoundCloud, all those things. So you can find us on there. Weekly Tech Wrap Up. Look us up, follow us, and we got some more great stuff coming your way. We're gonna have looking into developing definitely in this stage a stronger social media presence. So you're gonna see a lot of different things from us, man. That's going to be engaging for you all. And of course, the core of what we do here, as far as giving you all solid tech news and, again, exposing the silliness and the conspiracies, as well as giving a round of applause and pushing those to the front who are doing the right things. You're going to continue to see that here at the Tech Wrap Up. But that's all I got, man. You got anything else, Mike?
Nah, man, just keep tuning in.
Awesome, awesome. Well, like I said, this is Mike Bennett and Mike Baker coming from the Weekly Tech Wrap Up, episode 15. Signing out. Peace.
Peace.